Puri Jagganadh and the fandom that comes with his movies is one thing, but the quality of storytelling and its downfall from the days of Idiot, Pokeri and Temper to Paisa Vasool and his Smart Shankar is as steep as it can be. The initial mass hero and usually the underdog stories were Jagannath's staple that made the public root for his protagonist, but not only has the man's storytelling become haphazard, it has become a regular feature of the Matlab Kuch Bhi segment on this channel. Despite the current phenomena of the man's movies, I went in for Liger with the expectation that the unhinged quality and sheer energy and dedication of Vijay Deverakonda will win me over, but what this movie ended up giving me is a splitting headache. The film focuses on Liger, played by Vijay, who has a chai stall with his mother, played by Ramya Krishnan, in Mumbai. Vijay, sporting a hammy and inconsistent stammer in this film, gets into regular skirmishes on the street, but his mother has a goal in mind for him: to be the best MMA fighter in the country, an unfulfilled wish that is deeply close to the heart of the mother-son duo. When an MMA coach played by Ronit Roy recognizes the natural talent that he possesses and a past connection he just can't turn a blind eye towards, his effort goes into really making Liger a national sensation. The journey from a rowdy in the streets just helping out his mother to make ends meet to competing as an athlete in an international MMA competition should form the basic storyline of Liger. I emphasize on the word should because rather than getting what I just said, we get a blatantly confused and borderline so bad that it's good movie that it even boggles my mind that it was approved. This is especially with regards to the romantic subplot with Ananya Pandey and a cameo by Mike Tyson that can only make sense in Jagannath's head. Here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of Liger so that you guys can ultimately decide whether to watch it in theaters or not. The good: physical transformation for the role and the dojo dynamic. Dude, I'll get this out of the way that I am a Vijay Deverakonda fan. Yes, despite some of his takes on his characters, despite some of his takes on what love represents, just for what he has achieved and the sheer love he has for what he does, I've loved him. In his early roles like Yavade Subramaniam and Peli Chopulu, and even his lesser celebrated ventures like Dear Comrade, there is a genuine love he has for storytelling and completely immersing himself to roles that I really respect. And what is undeniable is that Vijay really embodies the physical presence of an MMA fighter in this movie. He looks absolutely lean and is quick on his feet, agile, athletic and flexible. Essential components to be really a force to be reckoned with in the octagon. The exterior and the effort that is gone into getting that right on point is really praiseworthy. The sequences while being bombarded by goons with the bamboo stick, the dojo fights and the altercations really account for the only memorable moments from this film. And I have to tell you that while I say this, I'm literally reaching and nothing more. The ideals of MMA imparted by Ronit Roy were reminiscent of the mentor and student bond in Never Back Down, but Puri Jagganadh barely wants to focus upon that and move on to the most absurd sequences and cameos that literally make no sense. The creative decisions outside of the physical specimen that he has become is the real problem for this film. The underwhelming aspects: embarrassing music and choreography. I know samosas would have been paid in kind to anyone who imagines to defend the music and atrocious choreography in this film. Usually a Dharma and Sony collaboration assures some musical bangers like Gehraiyan did at the start of the year. But my god, is the music not only forgettable, it is assisted by such bizarre dance steps that it makes matters for this film and its quality 10 times worse. There are two things that just look uncomfortable and there's no space for doubt: Ranbir and Katrina during Jagga Jasu's promotions and Vijay Deverakonda attempting to do Bhangra in Coke Card 2.0. The awkward and forced energy just can be felt through the screen. Usually the duo of Piyush and Shazia deliver with their choreography, but Afat and its picturization is lackluster at best. Even inventive decisions to place hands through these crevices to compensate for the lack of chemistry between the leads is not enough. The song Afat in itself is romantic, but in addition of a dialogue of a woman crying in its chorus screaming for help as she gets assaulted changes the context entirely. The worst of the lot has to be Akkadi Pakkadi, that VD himself tweeted about how he saw the choreography and it made him cry. And a fan on Twitter had replied to him saying, "Same brother, it made us cry as well." It's uncoordinated, it's all over the place, and the fact that it was approved makes no sense to me. The music and choreography is an absolute trip in this film, not the good kind, the one that actually gives you painful hangovers. character traits, and creative decisions. The stammer in this film adds nothing to enhancing the quality of the film or even the performance of Vijay Deverakonda. The trait is inconsistent and hammed like no one's business. The concept of a strong, physically abled individual with a stammer may be interesting, but its execution falls completely flat, making me actually reminisce about Kali Venkat's performance and his portrayal of the same condition in a film like Gargi and how well it was executed in contrast to this. There is an attempt by the creators to formulate an emotional mother-son bond through Ramya Krishnan's intense eyes and want for his child to do better. This initially works, but Ramya's performance literally transforms into just her shouting and yelling at her son. She gives him lectures about devilish women of this age and the need to focus so much that at one point of time I wondered whether she'll just shout Mahendra Bahubali. A scene in Marine Drive to create an unfulfilled wish finally coming true is so half-baked that you will never even for a single moment be emotionally moved in this film. There are too many absurd creative decisions taken in this movie that will leave you scratching your head in disbelief on how all this even came together as a project. You know what's even more sad is that there is potential in some brief mass moments, like when Vijay holds a person from the rival dojo's collar or when he gives his speech about being Indians. But the movie is so poorly edited and is assisted with such an underwhelming background score that they never really elevate scenes to be even considered to be mass. The romantic track. One of the most cringeworthy aspects of the film is the romantic track of the movie between Vijay and Ananya, and Puri Jagganadh is so obsessed with revisiting this dynamic, you wonder how or why in any way did he think that this was the strong quotient of the film. The reason for this movie's downfall, barring the Matlab Kuch Bhi moments, is the romantic subplot in the film. The regressive undertones of Puri Jagganadh are in full form in this movie. Not only is Ananya playing a total narcissistic bimbo, but is also handed over the most unintentionally funny dialogues. Ananya is introduced as the rich, privileged brat through a music video holding handbags, being in yachts and drinking alcohol. Ananya plays the role of Tanya, a social media influencer, who is advised by her friends in order to gain followers she needs to post steamy photos because men only notice women from bottom to the top. The first time she meets Vijay, she shouts at him, accusing him of calling her out of shape, urging him to get a tape and measure it for himself. She is so appalled by his apathy towards her, she lands up at his gym with a knife to threaten him. She sees him in his MMA element and asks her friend, "This is like a kung fu movie, is he Chinese?" She is throughout the movie called the devil, especially by the mother saying things like, "Devils back in the day were good, but now they come straight to your house, and you will your properties away as you see their short clothes." Ananya constantly calls Vijay cute, saying she wants to give him a puppy. Nothing beats, however, Ananya being annoyed of Vijay losing his cool and saying, "I am a bloody star. I'm going to Hollywood to pursue my career in acting." I absolutely lost it. This has to be one of the worst written roles for a female lead, giving competition to Tara Sutaria from Heropanti 2, and one of the biggest demerits of this film. But wait, I'm not even done yet. Matlab Kuch Bhi moments. There are so many sequences in this film, especially in the second half, where it seems like Puri Jagganadh just woke up, thought of shooting something random, and eventually stitched up everything together. In a scene, Vijay acts out pretending to cut off the penis of his fellow dojo mates and throwing their balls like dice, stating, "If you kiss me, I will smooch you." Yes, that's a dialogue from the movie referencing return gifts that he will always provide. Some of the other poetic lines also include Ananya saying, "Let's go to the pub and party hard," to which a friend replies, "I'm coming, we'll go hard." When confronted by an angry mother, Ananya replies in a shocked manner, only to out of nowhere say, "Where is my vodka?" There is no build up to the competition, no extravagant training montage, it just fast forwards to the competition and you don't even feel inspired or emotionally invested in this journey to the finals. Chunky Pandey is just the icing on the cake with absurd cameos in this film. The angle with Mike Tyson even tops Kambakt Ishq in the most absurd and illogical cameos in film history. You will absolutely lose your marbles on how they thought that was a fitting integration into the story. In the worst scene in my opinion, out of nowhere Vijay gets cornered by a gang of women and is beaten up incessantly, saying dialogues like "girls kiss okay, fight no good." Another dialogue includes, "You should act like a girl. If you act like this, you will never get married." And the worst one, "Did I have my way and impregnate you and abandon you?" This is, by the way, carrying on throughout the action sequence. Liger is one of the most random and illogical films that I have seen that even Deverakonda fans would find unbearable to sit through. This is random to the point of giving competition to Heropanti 2. Honestly, it's that bad. The level of storytelling being passed off as pan-Indian cinema is becoming an absolute joke. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about the movie. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the handle is right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.